Welcome to this week's Fireside Chat with Jesse. I'm joined today by Tom McSweeney, Chief Technology Officer at Financial Pacific Leasing. Thanks for joining me, Tom.
Absolutely, Jesse. Thanks for having me.
Nope, and I love your background there. Thank you. Very festive. Fits.
Yeah. Fireside Chat, right?
Yeah. I still can't do the backwards thing, but yeah. Thanks. Tom, for those people who haven't had the privilege of meeting you yet, do you mind just kind of talking about your career to date?
Yeah, sure. My career has been in IT since before there was an IT. I worked for Century 21 being the computer guy back in the 80s and built my own company from there. Then I joined the corporate in DaVita, which is a healthcare dialysis company. I was there for 10 years. Went to telecom just to see if I could do it. Worked for T-Mobile for 6 years. But then I was really looking for an opportunity to change an environment, change an enterprise. And that's when I came to FinPac. And like you said, coming up on 4 years, it's been quite a ride.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions. It's like, I believe right when you started, I was kind of introduced to you. I think I might even been up in the area working on a project with FinPac. And, you came from T-Mobile, and it's like coming into this space, like, let's talk about that, like equipment finance, like,
Very
what
different.
Are we doing here?
Yeah, it took me probably six months to really figure out what it was that we do. As you know, at FinPac, we have 3 different channels. We have a broker channel, a vendor channel, and a U-Bill channel, and that's with from the bank. Getting deals from the bank, and it was a lot different. Two things that struck me about equipment finance is, one, everybody knows everybody, and they're willing to share their information, which really helped me out, got me up to speed. I was calling people as we were getting ready to do our new front end system, and people were just telling me, "Here's what we do." That would never have happened if I had called AT&T or Verizon and said, "Hey, how you doing the backhaul on that system?" And they would have been like, "Get lost. I'm not talking to you." So that was really cool. The other thing was that there was a lot of opportunity for innovation. Some of the processes and things that we've been doing those for a really long time. And this gives us the opportunity to really then marry technology with this open system and help serve our customers. So it's been really fun, really good time.
And I know I went a little bit out of order here, so I apologize. I didn't even have you introduce Financial Pacific Leasing. So let's talk Financial Pacific, if you don't mind.
Yeah, Financial Pacific's been in business really since the mid 70s. And what they do is they offer 3 different channels, and we're actually looking to expand to do a 4th. We're a wholly owned subsidiary of Umpqua Bank, and as you know, Umpqua is getting ready to merge with Columbia, and so that will make us probably one of the largest banks on the West Coast. And we got at FinPac, we have $1.5 billion of assets under management, and we also we're probably the most profitable we've ever been last year. So the bank really likes us.
That's great. And now you joined there. I don't think it was that Umpqua were they already bought?
They were there, yeah.
When they there, but the systems weren't the same, correct?
No, they were kind of in transit. In fact, they were getting migrated down to Hillsborough, and kind of walked into that. Terry pretty much told me, just like, stay out of the way. We got this. Why don't you go work on the new system? So I went right to work on that.
Well, and now maybe you get the chance of doing another system conversion, from Columbia. Gotta love it.
Well, that's the really cool thing about Columbia is they don't even have an equipment leasing arm. And so they're super excited that legal day one, they want to be able to send deals to us for something they've never been able to do. And so that's why I said we're kind of opening up another gateway in our Salesforce framework so that we could take those referrals from them pretty much right out of the gate.
And is that, I know you said, are they in the just Pacific Northwest or all the way on the West Coast?
Yeah, West Coast.
Just West Coast. Got it.
Yeah.
And but from
I think
a,
they're down there with you.
I mean, the bank sounds familiar. I'm not exactly 100% sure. I don't know. I think there's every bank is here in Arizona because people want an excuse to golf whenever. So,
By the way, I'll be there soon.
Touche.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think, but from a market serve perspective, you guys just aren't on the West Coast. You guys are,
national.
US national. Okay.
Yeah. Because of our broker channel, we have about 300 brokers that submit deals to us from across the United States, which makes it a little challenging because, as you know, the states have different requirements, and so we have to go through the but if it's in Alabama and it's Tuesday and your grandmother is still alive, then we have to do the structure of the deal this way. So building the front end for that has been kind of challenging. And then we also have nationally vendor channel. So a lot of the equipment manufacturers and distributors also do their financing through us. So we have another 300 of those as well. So again, it's taken quite a few years to try to figure out what it is that we actually do and how to do it, but I think we've gotten it really.
Well, and let me know once you finally figure it out, so I can ask Terry or Alan to throw some more curveballs at you.
They do it. I think it's a sport now. It's actually become just like a pastime. Like I call them the buts because every caveat has a caveat, and then as soon as I get that nailed down, they throw in another one. Definitely.
Tom looks comfortable.
Yeah, it's the truth. It really is. That's why my golf game has gone to hell.
No, well, I didn't have a golf game, so. But
come on, you can hit the ball.
So I want to talk. So you came there in 2018. You had a whole 12 months. Well, I want to say you had 15 months before COVID hit.
Yeah.
So maybe once you kind of understood everything, learning a different industry, then let's talk that experience. Like, what did that do?
Talk about your curveballs. I mean, that was we didn't have kind of a way of working outside of the office because a lot of the processes were paper. A lot of pick up this file, go take it to accounting, have them cut a check, pick up that check, go sign it. So right when COVID started and people were talking about this, I got a really sick feeling because I thought, how are we going to do business if we have to go shelter in place? And we weren't prepared. I mean, most of our associates have desktops, so they didn't even have like a laptop. So literally we got the word from the bank and they said, get out, go home. And I had them like unplugging their desktops and carrying them out. In fact, Umpqua saw them changing IP addresses and called me up and said, did you just get robbed? Because all of your systems are now showing up on different IPs other than the one that you have. And I said, no. I told them to take it home. They said, you did what? I said, what was I going to do?
That's right.
What was I going to do? So they took them home and they were able to work. And in fact, Umpqua then copied us and they're like, oh, that's actually a really good idea. We should do that too, because we're trying to get everybody laptops and there wasn't enough there to do it. So yeah, we had to really redesign or reimagine how to do business. And I think that probably sped up the process for us.
Yeah. I was going to say, it actually moved it forward for once, as opposed to talking about it.
It really did, because there was not an appetite, for that kind of movement. I mean, we had hundreds of printers and, a lot of paper, and now it's all electronic. We're using the new system out of necessity. So it's kind of given us a push forward, and now we're getting into the mobile apps and really helping do business the way our customers want to do business, as opposed to the way we've always done it.
Right. I'm just trying to think, and then from a serving your customer perspective, with some of those like people calling up and they want a 2 or 3 month holiday. How is that? on the, the technical side of the house and managing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. We had no way for our end customers to really get to us other than calling us on the phone and talking to us through customer service and getting routed accordingly. And so now we're investing in, some new technology that you obviously know about because you helped us pick it out, where we can now put bots in place. And so if a customer calls and they have something that we can tell based on their profile or their contract, what it is that they want, we can actually answer that question while they're on the phone, send them the information over the email that we have on file, and really do business that way. The other thing is mobile, so now we're opening up, not portals, because portals are typically one way, but we've opened a gateway, and this gives us two-way communication, so they can talk to customer service when they want to, when we're closed. They can get, what's my balance or my payoff, or I want to, take a vacation for 2 months and I want to pay this way. All of those things are now possible based on the Salesforce technology that we're using and opening up those communication channels. And then we, like I said, FinPack being such an old company, we have a lot of data that we've never really tapped into. And so now looking at AI as well, so that we can become predictive, as well as some machine learning, and really analyze that data and see how our portfolio is actually performed when we slice it 13 different ways. So quite a bit of technology opportunity for me to really play with some new and shiny things.
Absolutely. And like we said, I think maybe the pandemic will grease the skids a little bit for, no, we're not going to do that, or why would you ever do that? And it's like, well, if we went from here to here, imagine we can go here.
Well, and you know what? The genie's out of the bottle now. So we're not going back to the way we did business. So we may go back to the office in a hybrid model. We're still out of the office right now.
Okay.
With just as kind of a skeleton crew, maybe about 10% of are still there. But we're not going to go back to full, taking up office space and passing around paper. And we've learned, and that's really been the key to our success, is kind of turning it into a learning organization, learn or reimagine how to do business. And that's been fun. And we've been helping people with a new process that I've introduced to the company called CQI. It's based on like a Toyota lean, way of doing business. It's just been super successful.
That's fantastic. And then you also built a website, correct?
Mm-hmm.
For the end customers to assist them. So I want to talk that real quick, because one thing I appreciate in my 3.5 years, almost 4, of knowing you, is when I sit there and I'm like, Tom, I don't think that's possible. Then you're like, yeah, well, let me show you how it's done. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, those are the gateways. So we've set up gateways now for all of our interchanges, and they're custom made, and they're also mobile ready. So whether it be, with our new partners from Colombia that want to send deals to us because they don't have an arm, they don't have an equipment financing arm, so they're really excited to legal day one. They want to start referring customers to us. Whether it be for our brokers and our vendors, those are actually 2 different gateways. Whether it be for our end customers, so that they can answer their questions with the self-service. And then as we open up different aspects, they all become these URLs, these websites that we can just kind of configure to get to the same information, and really more click than code, and we can kind of pop them up. We did it actually when the pandemic hit. We had a lot of people that were really hurting, and so I put up a temporary gateway for our customers to log in and tell us about their hardships, and we were able to do some payment deferrals for them and process them, and we did over 2,000 of them through that new
Portal.
system. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we were able to, when the crisis was over, we were able to shut it down. But we couldn't have taken that kind of volume if it was just calls into customer service.
Well, and especially when people are working from home too,
Right.
like trying to manage that workload.
Right. Or, working at night and they still have to
Right.
reach out to us. So, we popped it up and it served its purpose, and then we shut it down. And so we can do those as the needs strike us. We can bring those forward and fill that need.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought there. I've been working from home since 2011. So it was nothing new to me. But what I've realized is I find myself working later hours.
Oh, yeah.
So when you mentioned people working late, traditionally that was not the case. You're done, especially on the West Coast. You might start early, but typically past 5 o'clock, you're done.
Yeah.
But now with this new, I don't even know what we're called now, people are just working later.
Yeah. I told Terry I'm only been working half days lately, because from 6 to 6 is pretty much a half day, right? It's 24 hours in a day. There's only 12 of them. Again, why my golf game has gone to hell, but yeah, now we need to be able to do business when people do business.
Right.
And the other thing is, we do a lot of commercial trucking business. Those guys are on the road. They're driving. They can't be giving us information. So they get to a stop. They can bring up their phone, give us the information right on that gateway, and go on their way. So
absolutely, a text message,
Yeah.
Your bills due. Text message, click here to pay. Can you link it to you know what I mean? Like what payment gateways can you link it to?
Yeah, so. Rather than doing snail mail, like, your payment is due, how about we do, communicate the way they want to. We're actually bringing on Slack now, because Slack was purchased by Salesforce. And so we could do text messages and make it actually more of a community, so that we can talk to all of our customers. Yeah.
So where else do you see kind of technology? So in 4 years in, like when you think about the systems, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be like the monolithic system where you had to have one system that does everything, because why would you want to deal with multiple vendors?
Yeah.
Like I think that paradigm has shifted quite a bit. But just kind of wanted to get
the need. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was talking to Umpqua recently about that, because they said, you guys have been really successful popping up Salesforce for us. Kind of tell us what you did and how you did it. And I said, kind of think about it like Sim City. You're gonna build like these little buildings over here, just like we did with the COVID deferrals. We'll pop that building up and then we'll knock it down when we don't need it. So just like you're talking about, there's not a lot of investment in that monolithic system. You just pick what problem you're trying to solve, and I think that's what I was alluding to earlier when I was talking about the Toyota way. In fact, this has been such an eye-opening, because I've done Agile for a long time, but I've never done it like this before, where I had to work kind of change management. I think the first year we've always done it that way. Well, why? Well, because that's the way we've always done it. So there was that kind of challenge and that's why, like you said, thank goodness we had to get out and start doing it differently. But I'm actually writing a book about it, because it's been such a journey to figure out how, in an agile way, serving just the needs that we have, and I'm coming up with this idea of delivering service just in time. What does that look like? How do you like to be communicated to? Do you like text messages? Would you rather have a PDF? Would you rather have a piece of paper? Whatever you want, we can do that for you and pop those up just to solve the problem that's at hand.
I'd rather have a PDF, but as long as it opens on my iPhone, because that's really annoying when I get like something that doesn't open up. It's like,
look what they made
super frustrating.
Look at Umpqua. They cut off my Android and they said, we're going to make you do an Apple. I had to read. I'm a chief technology officer. I had to read a magazine to figure out how this stupid thing works. It's not intuitive at all. I hate it. I love my Android, but they weren't supporting it anymore.
I am all Mac I am recording
I
this
know
on an
you are.
iMac. I have
I
an
know.
iPad right here, an iPhone,
Right.
AirPods. I mean, you call it. That's what I got right now.
I remember
So,
before I had technology. I know what you're talking about.
oh,
Oh,
nice, nice.
yeah. Give me my Android back.
That's fair. That's fair. So I want to talk about like expectations of like 2022.
Yeah.
We're almost, shoot, I can't believe tomorrow's April 1st.
First quarter's down. Yeah.
Crazy. So I guess what are your expectations for, the rest of this year, Tom?
Yeah. I've actually dedicated 22 to the year of the customer. And
Okay.
because we've kind of stabilized our environment, we've figured out, how to process deals and get them in the door and communicate back and forth. Now it's all about giving people a reason to do business with us. And we've identified 4 customers in that, so obviously our end customer that we've been talking about, but also those brokers and vendors, they're our customer. The banks are our customer, they're our shareholders. And then our employees, and how do we make their job easier, make it more fun? So trying to balance those 4 entities, those 4 personas with the different technology needs. It's kind of a challenge because usually you focus on one or the other. This one we get to do all 4, and it's really turning out to be a great year. I mean, we've grown just in this first quarter. We've grown more than we have probably in all of last year. Truly.
Sounds to me like you're getting comfortable and you need another challenge.
Don't call Terry. Please don't call Terry. He does it on purpose because he's a 4 handicap and I'm a 14 handicap, and he just gives me more work when I start to catch up to him. So
That's
please,
fair.
Don't call him.
That's fair. No,
He enjoys kicking my butt. No, we've overcome that. I call it bureaucratic inertia, where you have that group think, and when we were replacing the system that we were doing, all we knew how to do is what we had done. It's kind of like if you were to come over to my house, I would offer you beer or wine because I'm half Italian and that's what we do. We put something in your hand as you come in the door. But how do I know you don't want bourbon? Right? So I don't have that to offer you. So I do, but you can't have it because it's the good stuff. But how do you know what you want to offer your customers if you don't talk to them? If you don't ask them, what are the problems that you're trying to solve? And so then we were able to not just give them what we have in a prettier package, but give them things like Slack that we never even thought of. So every time you get a funding,
and that's extremely refreshing coming from a CTO perspective. I've been on the business development side for my entire career, and typically they're like, okay, what does the sales guy want now?
Yeah.
So typically on the technical side, you don't see them involved or caring, and they're quite frankly caring about what the customer experience is. It's just, what do I have to do to make this engine run efficiently?
Did you say that's engine?
Yeah.
Engine?
Yeah, right. Engine. I'm not, as much as I may seem like I'm perfect, I am far from it, Tom.
Oh no, you had me going, bud. I did not know that.
But but that's, like I said, it's just extremely refreshing when your thoughts on that in regards to the end customer experience, and how can technology drive that better customer experience or journey.
Frankly, that's why I'm a CTO and not a CIO, because I think that's where the difference is. I want to go where the business is and figure out how to work technology into that to make their lives easier, as opposed to, like you said, what are you giving to me now, Jesse? I got to go build. That's very transactional. This way, we get to be on the front line. We get to do stuff like blockchain. We're looking at blockchain now to take some of our assets and trace them and see that chain of custody as it goes through, and what does that look like? So we're constantly going to be out there trying to fill needs and solve problems that customers have to deal with every day.
No, it's fantastic, man. So I do ask everyone who comes on here a little fun fact about themselves, other than the fact that you're you're half Italian. Anything else you'd like to share with the group here?
So you know that we were bringing on a new system to take the telephone calls, and one of the things that we've done to help us really coach our folks is to record all those calls, and then take them through this AI that actually figures out, what was the tone of the call, what did they actually say, and transcribe that out and look for keywords and those kind of things. So as I was doing the proof of concept for this, it didn't work for me because I have a Philadelphia accent, and I think it was kind of geared towards West Coast and nice. So every time that I got on there, it was saying that I was being negative. I'm like, have you been talking to my wife? Because I don't understand why this is. Yeah, it was crazy. And I would even try to fluff it up, and I'm like, hey, thanks for calling. Hey, it was really good to talk to you. It's so exciting. And it would be like
sarcastic
negative.
Customer.
Yeah, it did. It threw me right in there. I know. It was horrible, but yeah, it's been a challenge. I've been on the West Coast now since 2008, and I still don't understand. I know you went to school in West Virginia, so you know kind of what I'm talking about, but I do miss the food, and I just miss the direct talk. Which is why we get along.
Why does this customer always get escalated to management every time he calls in? You're from Philadelphia? Okay, that's just
that
the
makes
problem.
sense. Yeah.
No, I get it.
That's a verb. Hilarious. That's a good verb.
I just find it interesting how there's algorithms based on what part of the country.
It had to be, because everything I said was negative. Everything. I don't know. I think it's my accent. It also couldn't transcribe the word water, and I don't know why.
I'm not gonna go there.
Really?
Nope.
No?
Waterfalls.
Water. Yeah.
No. All right, Tom. Well, I guess when people are watching this, one of the groups I focus on are some of the new entrants in this industry. Yeah. Any advice that you would give to someone who's just coming in to equipment finance, either from a different background, from the outside or right out of school?
Yeah, call me. Seriously, because your network, like I said, is really tight here with equipment financing. Talk to people like you. You helped me a ton, and I'm not blowing smoke. I mean, this is the truth. But I was just amazed at how much people would help. So reach out to people that have done it before. Don't try to just do it on your own. But I'd like to pay that back as well. And so I'm on LinkedIn. Just give me a call. But use your network. Do like ESC. Make sure that you're using them to plug in so that you know who else is in the industry, and just ask them questions, and God bless, they actually will answer it, and they'll give you their secret sauce for free.
Yeah, and I think one of the overwhelming things I kind of get by doing these is once you get in, it's hard to leave this industry.
Really? It's like the mafia.
Basically, well, it's just because people are they'll go out of their way, even though they're potentially a competitor, they'll go out of your way to take a call or give you some advice and everything. So it's not common.
Yeah, when I was shopping Salesforce, I called people that were on it. I called people that were not on it, and just said, tell me the positives and the negatives, and they did. And then they're like, and if you really want to do good work, do it this way over here. We're competitors, right?
Right. Well, thank you. I just got that deal faster because the way you told me. I really appreciate you. Thank you very much.
It's the truth. It is absolutely the truth. Use your network and use groups like this.
Well, I really appreciate your time today, Tom.
My pleasure.
Hopefully our paths will cross when you're down in Arizona here, sir.
Yep, I'll definitely give you a call when I'm in town.
All right, thanks again. Take care.
All right, Jesse. See you later.
All right, bye.